Line up, you f***ing nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line, we are live for a little off-week action. Got a special edition show coming at you. I am AJ, joined by my guy, Mike Finch. What's happening, bro?
Good in the neighborhood, my friend. AJ, how are you out there in Florida, brother?
I feel great, bro. The weather's awesome. I'm sweating my ass off, which is good. You know, it's what we want. Get the sweat out, get the weight down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm feeling good. What about you over in California, bro?
Huntington Beach is great, man. Huntington Beach is great. I had an awesome little weekend, man, and just hit up Patchy Mix and Tatiana Suarez, and I told them, hey, we're doing a show on Monday if you want to come through. They hit me back immediately. Very cool human beings, a future UFC star and the current Bellator star, Patchy Mix. So super excited to talk to them. They'll be coming on in a matter of minutes. So we got a lot to talk about, but we'll definitely spend a little time with them today. That'll be fun, guys. So think about what questions you want to ask the millionaire and the woman who just booked a fight with Verna Jandiroba. It's a dope fight.
Yeah, big ass fight for her. Comeback after she beat Montana De La Rosa back down to 115. Yeah, I think Tatiana Suarez is a dark horse right now. For Patchy Mix, big path in Bellator with potential Patricio Pitbull matchup looming if he beats Sergio. So big things to talk about with some savage MMA veterans / champions, really. This week, there's no fights on Saturday for the UFC, but we do want to look back and discuss what happened last weekend, not only in UFC, but we're going to start with Friday night in the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. Grandpa, Houston Alexander. Mike, what did I say on the show? I'm not going against the you know what I'm saying, the legacy. I don't even know what it would be called. I don't even remember what I said, man. I'm not going against the old man legacy. I don't know what it is, bro. I said something. You remember what I said on the show, Mike? I totally forgot.
You just mentioned that he was 51 years old. You know,
yeah.
that's a pretty serious age for a bare knuckle fighter.
Yeah, pretty crazy that he went out there and brought the fire to Jeremy Smith. But Smith was doing good late. If it's a 7-round fight, I think that's where Jeremy Smith is going to beat a fuckload of these guys. Unfortunately, BKFC, we got 5-2s. So he doesn't get to test that 6th and 7th round because Jeremy Smith is made out of something else. The dude absorbs numerous shots and just continues to move forward. I don't understand.
Well, you know, he keeps his chin tucked and his hands super high. If you notice the way he stands, Jeremy Smith likes to almost cover his face like he's surprised, like a Home Alone, the cover, right? Yeah. So, and I think the idea there is more surface area to cover for the lacerations. When those bare knuckles come through, that's a real problem for cuts. So he's like covering his face pretty well and making it through. But yeah, he took shots, man. I mean, and you noticed even right away, like when Jeremy Smith came out and started throwing those hooks, he's just a little not fast, you know? And Houston Alexander, even at 51, had a little more pop than Mr. Smith does. So Smith's got to stop throwing such looping shots and, you know, has to think about speed, going direct to target. You know, I when I teach people boxing for the first time, if they've never really done it, one of the first things I talk about is the value of straight punching. Like if I say, hi, AJ, nice to meet you, I reach my hand out directly towards you, right? But if I saw you for the first time, I said, hi, AJ, nice to meet you, and I walked in a loop to come get to you, this guy's out of his mind. Kind of the same idea in punching. It kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to bring your punch on this long route to get there. The reason is kinetic energy development, and it works with the rotation of your hips. But really, the quickest route is direct to the target. Houston did a lot better at that, and Smith was looping everything. So,
Mike Finch, we got Tatiana Suarez ready to jump in. I got to bring in the Savage. First, real quick, let me shout out our guy, DJ Ole Sente Manga for the $15 dono. Bank some money on Buckley, Hernandez, Dern, Parlay, and swore that if I would shoot some, if I won, I would keep up the great content, lads. Bro, my guy, I appreciate that donation. It means a ton to you. We'll touch a little bit more on the bare knuckle stuff later. We're going to bring in one of the baddest females on the planet right now, Tatiana Suarez.
All eyes on me.
Tatiana Suarez, how you doing, champ?
Hi, how are you?
Doing well.
We're good, Tatiana. Thank you so much for stopping
there
by.
you guys are. You guys disappeared for a little bit. I didn't see you.
We're back. We're back. We're good to go. Yes?
Yes.
Tatiana, we're so glad to see you stopping by. I was excited when I heard you booked a new fight. What do you think about this fight you just signed?
I think it's a good fight. Obviously, I'm going to be fighting Berna. Hold on, I'm going to move because it's kind of loud right here. I don't know.
Thank you.
I'm
Verna
at the
Jandiroba.
Yeah. Sorry, you guys caught me right at practice. Yeah. So I'm fighting Berna Jandiroba. I can't say her name. I think that's how you say it, though.
That was good.
But every time I see it on or when I hear it, when people say it when she's fighting, it sounds a lot different. So I don't know. I'm probably saying it completely wrong, but
I say it oddly too. I say Janjudoba. I don't know. That's how I hear them saying the.
That's what they say too. But there's an R right there, so I don't know.
You read it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, regardless of how you say her name, Tatiana, she's been stringing together some nice wins just like you have. She's got this good cage wrestling that she keeps using on these women. I mean, she's beaten some top prospects like this. She gets you on the fence. She sort of drags you around. But Tatiana, you know a thing or two about wrestling. When you see that fence wrestling that she's putting together, I find it to be pretty unique, especially amongst the women's divisions. Are you impressed by it?
I think she's a good opponent. I wouldn't say I'm impressed by it because I could do it 10 times better than she can. But that's not like me. I'm just calling it how I see it. So I'm not trying to be rude or nothing. But I just think I'm better in that area. I think I've been wrestling since I was 3 years old and she hasn't. So
I agree. I listen, I like the confidence because I agree. I think right now you're the dark horse in the weight class. Janjudoba, I mean, she's kind of doing it to a lesser dominant way that you're out there beating people up. And I'm kind of thinking that this matchup here is a very fun showcase fight because she does got the steam right now. That Angela Hill domination kind of, built her up. And then, she beats Marina Rodriguez, which was a pretty, I guess not a huge upset, but somewhat. And now you get to jump in and steal all that momentum.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a good fight for her because Marina Rodriguez really isn't a jiu-jitsu practitioner at all or any type of wrestling. She's just primarily a striker. So it just kind of looked like the old days, in Pride when there was a striker versus a jiu-jitsu person. And then the jiu-jitsu person implemented their game, and a jiu-jitsu person who's evolved in the sense of where she can also try to take people down off the cage, which is good, you know what I mean? Because a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners don't have that. So at least she has she's evolved in the case of trying to take people down off of the cage, which cage wrestling is hard and it's taxing to do. Does not feel good. Your whole head hurts after. It's horrible.
She scores a lot of control time over these women. It's going to be hard to control you. And I know you've been working out with Patchy and Tatiana. I think Patchy has the best guillotine in MMA. So you tell me, am I crazy for thinking that Verna's going to try to wrestle you and you're going to grab her neck and guillotine her? Is that a crazy pick?
That could happen.
Do you have the Patchy Mix guillotine yet? Do you got it yet?
Oh, what's crazy is I've always had a really good guillotine. So when we met, it was just a little weird because I attack the neck a lot, and I'm known for that. As you know, one of my wins in the UFC, I got my first ever UFC fight. I got a Darce. that it's not really like women don't really usually get darsas. Like they get arm bars, they get rear naked chokes. Those are common things for women to get. The squeeze attacks like anacondas, darsas, guillotines, those are very common in women's MMA. And if they are, it's usually like maybe like those standing against the cage when a girl gets them there, and all of a sudden they're standing, they're doing that whole, high elbow guillotine, like they do stuff like that. But I've had a couple of guillotine wins in my career. I had one on the Ultimate Fighter with one arm. I did a one arm guillotine right off of the cage, and then I sunk it in. It was really, really nice. I did that one, and then I obviously had the one against Montana De La Rosa that was recent. And seeing Pat, like one day I was just watching Pat, and he was just jumping for guillotines. I'm like, that's dope. I want to do that. So literally my back was a little bit injured throughout my camp, so I couldn't really jump and do like athletic stuff like I usually do. But the last couple of weeks I was really healthy, so I was just like jumping for guillotines like crazy. At one point, me and Pat we went to like a Sunday roll, and I looked over and we were both jumping guillotine at the same time. I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, so it might happen.
That's a maybe, AJ. I'm gonna write it down, bro.
Write it down. Listen. If you submit Jen Doroba, that's huge. Regardless,
that is because I just heard that she beat freaking Amanda Nunes in a grappling match.
That I didn't even know that. Yeah, holy shit.
That I think Claudia just told me. She said that they competed against each other back in the day, and she beat her one time and she lost to her one time, and then she said that she thinks she beat Amanda Nunes in a grappling match as well, like back in the day. Like I don't remember, it was a while ago, because I don't think Amanda Nunes does grappling matches anymore, but at one point she did. So.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, actually. Jen Doroba's a good name. I'm saying it. Listen, when I saw you fighting at 25 last time, I was wondering if that was going to be the change, if you were thinking about making a run there. Now you're cutting back down to 15, which, has been your home for numerous years. And I mean, you beat Carla Esparza, who was the champion. So I feel like when you look at the weight class, you got to have high confidence here, because I don't think there's anyone there that brings near the wrestling offense that you have. And defensively, I mean, if you're matched up even against the likes of a Rose Namajunas, that's a very, I want to say, somewhat, clear path to victory type of fight. Jen Doroba is probably the best grappler right now in the weight class, aside from Esparza and you. I feel like this is a cool fight to see.
Yeah, it was. I actually saw her, and I asked for the fight, and they gave me the fight. They said Mick said he liked it, so I was like, hey, as soon as she won, I was like, can I get, her? And he's like, yeah.
Wow.
So
Why?
he's like, I like the fight, so he's like, I'll ask, and then they accepted. So then we made the fight, and I'm excited because I think, she's obviously on a good run, and I just wanted the winner of whoever it was, whether it was Marina Rodriguez or her, and she won. So I was just, I chose her.
Damn, it's a big fight, AJ. I think you two at the top of that division. Winner gets title shot. What do you think, Tatiana?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think like all the other girls are just kind of, I don't know what they're doing. One of them's pregnant. Two of them are pregnant. Oh my God. And then I think Rose is supposedly going up to 125.
Really?
Yeah. Because I actually wanted that fight, obviously, because she's such a big name, and she's obviously she's champ, and so I thought, obviously I think I could implement my game well against her. So I don't know. So I guess maybe I'll, when I win my next fight, it'll be maybe, I don't know what they want. If they want another fight, I don't mind fighting again, but I do feel like all the top girls are kind of, maybe Jan. I wouldn't mind fighting her either. When I beat Verna, and I could just go after that and beat Jan, and then go ahead and beat Wiley after.
Holy shit, AJ, Wei Lee versus Tatiana Suarez. That's a dope fight.
Listen, you're undefeated right now, and I feel like people have forgot because you were out for a while. But I remember watching you in the 2019 era, wherever before then, and through the Ultimate Fighter, and thinking, "Damn, this is probably the scariest grappler in female MMA right now." And she just hasn't gotten her shot yet. So I'm glad you're back, and I'm very excited for you taking on Verna. And I also want to say, Mike Finch, you know who's just popped in the bottom? Patchy Mix. Do we bring them both on at the same time? We bring the Savages in?
What should we do? Tatiana, you got a minute for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
All
go.
right, we're doing it. Let's
Let's
go.
bring in our guy Patchy Mix as well. We got a dual guest right now. The Savages. Patchy's small though. We got to find a way to make him bigger, man. I want to bring him to the forefront. Let's see. Let's do it like this.
Is
We're gonna
that
follow
the
on the
millionaire Patchy fucking Mix?
Yeah,
What's
man.
up, champ?
How are you, man?
We're good, bro. We gotta know, and we got her on right now, so we'll ask him while she's up here. What's the nicest thing you've bought Tatiana since you got that $1 million check, Patchy?
I love it, man. I mean, we're looking for a house right now. We're looking for a house.
In Vegas.
Trying to find something here in Vegas, yeah.
Nice. I heard Summerlin is nice.
Yeah, we're looking, man. So I don't know about Summerlin, though.
Where are you going then?
I'm not sure. We don't know yet. Looking around. We want to move out of the downtown area, though.
Got you. Yeah, so we were looking for a house, Patchy. I live in California where every house costs like $3 million. And I was like, holy shit.
We're well aware.
Yeah. In Vegas, you could get some bang for your buck.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot cheaper than California, that's for sure.
Dude, good luck on the house hunt, guys. Congratulations. Yeah, Tatiana was just saying that everybody in her division is pregnant. You guys don't have any news for us, right? There's
Yeah, not her. we're coming for the belt.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hell
He
yeah.
said not her.
I'll go one more before AJ jumps in. Tatiana, he's got the $1 million now. When are you gonna get your bag? When does Tatiana get her first $1 million check?
Oh shit. Hopefully pay-per-view. Get some pay-per-view bags.
So Tatiana Suarez versus Wei Lee, bring the bag.
Yep.
Listen, we're not far from it.
Hopefully Conor McGregor is the main event on that card.
Yeah.
You got to be the main event, champ. AJ, is this the most badass couple in MMA? I mean, I think
so. I think right now you two are top tier. This is I don't know. I'm trying to think who else do we got that I can think of off the top of my mind, man. Yeah, that's it. She beat Nina Nunes.
Who's running up on
belt.
YouTube?
Oh,
That's
but
it.
I already beat Nina Nunes.
You beat her.
They're
Exactly.
not the baddest ones in MMA.
Yeah, that they're not. Yeah, that's it. No, them two. That's it. Right now, they're the pound for pound.
Now Pat has to take out Amanda Nunes.
Listen,
I don't know about that one.
That's a scary fight. Listen, Patch, we're gonna skip that one.
we're gonna protect Amanda from Patchy.
Yeah, for sure.
Tatiana, thank you so much for taking your time. We're gonna bug Patchy for a little bit, but I wanted to get you two on to say hello. I think it's awesome that you two are fucking dominating. Patchy dominating in Bellator. Tatiana on her way to the fucking top in the UFC. All the best to you two, and you guys know when I come to Vegas, I want to get guillotined by both of you. I'm excited to come to you guys.
Yeah. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you, Tatiana. I'm joking. I'm playing.
Patchy Mix in the house, bro. What's going on, Patchy? Listen, we didn't expect it to be both at once. That was improvised.
No, it's all right.
On the spot.
She's at training right now. I was supposed to go, but I'm a little banged up. I'm overdoing it, so I have to sit at home and rest. If I would have went to watch practice, I probably would have done it. So I'm like, I should be.
Mix can't stay off the mats, bro. That's why you're kneeing people in the face and flatlining them.
Dude,
no,
I
bro.
love
Patchy's a millionaire now. He's got his feet up on the desk. He's chilling now, dude.
I love grappling, so I hate missing on Mondays or Mondays, Fridays. We have real good guys. Farid Basharat, Javed Basharat, Amir Albazi. It's all of us, and we got 8 to 10 lightweights on the mat. So I hate missing out on it. And me and Javed set up the session, and then I kind of banged my neck up in practice this morning, so I just couldn't do it. So that's where she's at. She's down there training right now. They got a real good room right now, though.
Yeah, that's actually
Nice,
a
dude.
savage stable right there. Now, I guess you just brought up the Albazi name, and he's fighting in, a little less than 2 weeks now against
Yeah.
Kai Kara France. So you're working with Albazi on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah, I've been working with Albazi for a while.
How would you say the wrestling game compared to some of the top guys in the world that you faced off against his, man?
He's tough, man. He's real good. Even just pound for pound, like he's
Yeah.
tough. I wrestle guys all the way up to 170, and Amir gives me more trouble than other guys. I think that he's gonna smash Kai Kara France. I do. I just Kai Kara France can throw and all that nonsense, but like I think he's decent at what he does, and like they come from that good camp where they could land their strikes and stuff. But not when you get a guy that could like take you down and submit you and hold you. Like Amir's a good jiu-jitsu guy, like high level jiu-jitsu, So I believe he'll be able to take him down and smash him pretty easy.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah,
Get me nervous for my pick now. God damn it.
Yeah, that's my
Oh,
pick, man.
I like it. I like it.
I got $1 million. I'm gonna throw a little bit of my money on him. I have to.
Let's go.
Amir's my guy. I ride with him. I gotta ride with my guys, and I think he's 16-1. So how can you pick against that? Like, I don't know. I was 16-1. His one loss, he lost to Shorty Rock Torres, and that he could have won that fight. So he could be 17-0 in my eyes. And Kai Kara France loses a lot. He's got like double-digit losses or something. So I would never pick it for him. I know that.
Do you bet on fights, Patchy?
Holy
You're in Vegas, bro. You go throw some money down sometimes?
No, I'm not really big on the fights and stuff because you got to do parlays and stuff. But I like basketball, shit like that, like player props. Like I like all-star basketball, especially playoffs and shit. Like maybe I'll bet on something like that. But I don't know, long shot parlays and stuff. I feel like fighters, like I never ride with anyone big because, I mean, you know what I mean. I just anything happens in fighting. So
True.
Yeah, and then like a parlay, it's like. Can you imagine? You gotta wait it out every single time. Like I see like these 6-1 underdogs. I'll be watching an event and they'll be like, if you bet $10 on the 6 underdogs right now, you would have won $7,000. I'm just thinking, God damn, what? Like, who'd ever guess that?
Wow.
Shit, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to be the guy that guesses that. I don't know about the plus 7,000 money though. That shit's fucking crazy, man. Holy hell.
Man, it's tough. Some crazy ones do happen though. I mean, especially in like Bellator. I remember Pat Downey was on the card, and he was like crazy plus. I mean, minus or something. And the other guy knocked him out. Yeah, like what is that, bro? Can you imagine putting something on that?
Bro, I can't believe that none of my friends did. I had some friends who like won a bunch of money on Johnny Eblen was like a 2.5-1 dog against Gegard Mousasi. There have been some stupid ones. That was the craziest line of all.
Johnny Eblen dominated him that fight too. I was there for that one.
I talked to Gegard beforehand. He's like, "Oh, I don't train as hard anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, this line is not right."
Mike, you didn't call me after that. What the heck? You didn't call me after that.
Illegal.
Different, man. It's different. These young guys are coming up. Johnny Eblen, just a new generation of people, man. Guys that can strike, wrestle. Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm the hybrid of it. I feel like I'm one of the lead catalysts of it. It's been brewing for years, but I remember like when Max Holloway was young and like he lost to Dustin Poirier, and I don't know who else he lost to. He had a couple losses when he was young. And then he totally rebranded himself, and a few years later, he was like on like a 12-fight win streak or something like that. And that reminds me of like my Juan fight, like how young I was. Like my body wasn't even the same as I look now, let alone my technique and what I can do. And I was very close to winning that fight. So it's like, where I can go is like, fuck, huge. And like, I don't want to just have that one shot last week, not last week, last month. This is why I don't like living downtown. You hear those sirens?
Yeah.
There's some shit going on all the time. What are you saying?
Well, I'm right near Fremont Street, so it's like, it's crazy people.
Man.
Well, it's not as bad as the Strip, but it's just like, I don't know, a lot of stuff going on always. But what I was saying was like I want to do I don't want to just land that shot and get knockouts like that and like progress my game and show that I'm like one of these new styles, just that fight. I have like so much shit I've been working on besides just that knee. So I want to like, show my improvements on the ground. I haven't really been able to show that the last couple of fights. I haven't shot no takedowns. Granted, I caught Maga in a guillotine, I didn't shoot in that fight. I didn't show any of my top game. Like I've been working a lot on my elbows, ground and pound, my submissions, and especially, you know, my striking, because that was my weak point. But just like everyone said, in a million years, I thought maybe I'd hurt him, but I didn't know if I'd knock him out like that, you know.
And you
Flatline.
sure knocked him the fuck out. AJ, what do you think about that
Brutal.
KO?
Brutal. Patchy Mix is I mean, I always knew you were good, bro. And like I've always known that you're a tricky style, but it's like good to see the evolution of your game where now you're elite. I mean, you won the Grand Prix. The thing that got fucked with the Grand Prix is they had the interim belt on the line, which now you have because obviously Sergio couldn't do it. And then they decided to book Pitbull versus Sergio. So I gotta say, you're definitely next, if you know, unless some crazy
Yeah,
shit
100%. You know, you got to think about it like this. So, you know, I just
Mm.
went through the 3 hardest guys for $1 million in a tournament. It shouldn't really be interim. It should kind of be the undisputed. I understand why they did this fight. They had to do this fight because Sergio and Patricio are going to there's no other reason to do it besides to push Pitbull to get a 3-weight world title. And, you know, they know it's a lot easier to do against Sergio Pettis than it would be against me or Rufián. So, you know, in all perfect world, I think that Pitbull was asking for the fight, and he's their staple. You know, he's pound for pound number one. And when he asked it, they said yes, which they should. You know, I respect it. Not necessarily that I fuck with it though, because, you know, I think, you know, no offense to Sergio, I got respect for him, but I think that if I were to fight him, I think that I could submit him early. You know, I think it would be easier money than it would be for me to go now, let's say, fight the winner. I'm hoping he does win in a sense, you know, obviously, because I think I match up a lot better with him than I would against, you know, Patricio. But at the same time, you know, I thought like maybe I win this tournament, I get honored with the, you know, kind of like a stylistic, easier fight, you know, with me and Pettis. Because, you know, I'm a good ground guy. That's where I kind of think he lacks, like striker versus grappler setup, you know?
Right.
I agree with that 100%. I think that I love Sergio. You know, he's a good dude, but I do think that he really is in big trouble if you go to the ground with him. And I just really will say I'm doubtful that he's
Yeah,
going to
bro,
be able to
that's
defend.
anybody, though, bro. That's anybody, man. I submit
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
like literally everybody. So all the way up to 170, I don't care who you are. I submit you. People know this around Vegas. Everyone knows it in the gym. Who's the baddest dude in the mat? I'm the baddest grappler almost in all of MMA right now. I can roll with anybody at any weight, of any promotion, of any caliber, whatever their championship status. It does not matter. I submit the best guys in the world, like all the way down to whatever weight. It doesn't matter. So I know that he'd be in trouble with me on the ground as anyone else would, but he just lacks the defense, I think, to like at least Pitbull's an attacker. You know what I mean? He has a lot of submissions. He has a lot of himself. So like even Gallagher would be a better, I think, stylistic matchup for me, like a tougher one because he's an attacker. Like these guys have like many submissions themselves. I don't think Pettis has that many. You know, I think he's, you know, predominantly a striker. So it'd just be such a hard matchup. And I really think he even has a better stylistic matchup against Patricio Pitbull than he would have against me. You know, both kind of the same height, both kind of like the strike, bang it out a little bit. But, you know, who knows how that goes down.
Well, that's what I got to ask you, though.
Yeah,
What's the Patchy Mix forecast on Patricio Pitbull versus Sergio Pettis?
No, when I think about the fight, I think, how do you pick against Pitbull? Like, you know, I think I'd be naive or just, you know, I'd be eating my words if I picked against him. You know what I mean? Because, like, look what he's accomplished. I mean, he knocked out Michael Chandler in a minute, I think, to win the 155-pound belt. He's the only person to ever defeat AJ McKee, even if you don't believe it. You know, on paper he has a win over him, so he's the only person to beat him. You know, he could still be the 155-pound champion. I feel like, you know, he moved down for obvious reasons. Like he gave his brother the opportunity, but who's to say he can't match up with any of those other guys in that tournament now? Right. You know, I mean, he could, as he's proven. So it's like it's hard to pick against him. The only thing that I would have to question is the weight cut. You know, coming down so much weight and like, but you know, I'm the biggest bantamweight, so I come down mad weight and I do it. So you know what I mean? I don't see why. I think that he's smaller than me. You know what I mean? In a lot of areas, like not just like his height, like, you know, I mean, like
penis
he's a guy, but I think he can make 35. I believe. I don't know. You know, he's like 5'5". So
he is like a little tank. When I'm standing next to Patricio Pitbull, he looks like a bodybuilder. He has to lose muscle to be able to fight in your weight class.
yeah, but I seen pictures of him, and it was like picture with him and his brother, and I think like someone else in it, and like he looks a lot smaller than his brother does now. You know what I mean? Like looking next to him, next to Patricky, I'm like, damn, he like looks like he really did it right. Like I don't know if he's been working for this for a while, but it looks like he's coming down in a healthy way. Like he's gonna make the weight pretty good. Well, that's what I've seen from when I'm looking on his Instagram and shit. You know, I'm hoping he does make weight and do it healthy. You know, I want to have like the #1 pound for pound fighter at his best fighting Sergio Pettis, you know, and it gives Sergio all the opportunity to come back and, you know, write off all that time. Because if Sergio comes back and defeats him, like, you know, he came back and achieved something that's so big, beating the former double champion, beating a guy that's only has one loss to AJ McKee in like 6 years, 5 years. His last loss before that was a freak injury to Benson Henderson. Right. So like, I mean, I've studied these guys. Like, you know, he's a legend. So like, for Sergio to have the opportunity, I just hope, you know, I'm kind of hoping he doesn't take advantage of it because I kind of want to, you know. Yeah, like, I'm trying to put my name in the hat. You know, my name is in the hat. I got the other side of that, you know, title that he's going for. So I'm just, I think that Patricio gets it done. I think it could be a war, though. You know, if there's no jumping of guillotine, submission, or like freaky knockouts, you know what I mean? I think like Sergio can make it a war. He did good in that Juan fight. He lit Archuleta up, man. That was nasty what he did. Then he had that nice ass knockout against Horiguchi, even though he was losing. Patricio's the same height as him, I think, a little shorter. So who knows? And Sergio does have a good jab. I don't know, man. I just hope it's a war. And I'm gonna be there cage side to watch it. So my money would be on Patricio, but you know, and I want to fight the #1 pound for pound fighter to, you know, what the fuck, man. Yeah. You know, what better claim? You know, I have one loss. A guy survived me, you know, beat me, kind of, you know, on the scorecards. Like, you know, as what better way to write it? You know, I just knocked out the guy that knocked him out. And then I could go against either Sergio, who has a win against him, or Patricio, you know. I want to take out the pound for pound #1, hopefully. And then, you know, I could square away, you know, with Archuleta if he gets the job done in Risen, you know. So I'm hoping that, like, Patricio wins in a perfect world and I could just get that fight, man.
No, you and Patricio is huge. That's a blockbuster fight. I think that'd be crazy because it's you who's been there forever, always looking like a monster, finally getting your, you know, justice, getting the belt now, and then getting the pound for pound #1 in your face right there. And then if you go out there and let's say you strangle him, something like that, holy shit, your name is right at the top of mixed martial arts. I mean, that's what I want.
Bro.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
My team already knows that and stuff, though, you know? Like, I won 29 out of 30 fights. I got 22 finishes. And I was from New York, where professional MMA wasn't even legal when I was coming up. I should have mad more pro fights, 29-1 altogether. I have mad finishes, over 20 finishes. You know, to go against him, I think you need to be a finisher. To go against him, I think you need to be, you know, I'm a southpaw, just like AJ McKee. I'm dangerous from the same side, you know, that left side, just like AJ McKee was. I got submissions, you know, more than anyone. I got 12, you know, most in bantamweight history, most finishes in bantamweight history, going against the featherweight king that's coming down. You know, what kind of fight? That would be an amazing fight, crazy fight. And like you said, you know, with being successful, it would put me at the top, but I already am at the top, you know. I train with it. Everyone that's there, people, and, you know, my coaches, my team, we all know, you know. So it would just be, I'm already there at the top. It'd just be the top guys fighting, I believe, and a chance to stake claim to being one of the best bantamweights in the world, you know. With being, you know, exclusive, you know, I'm the Bellator champion, you know, and I love Bellator. I'm staying with Bellator, you know, and I don't get a chance to go fight these other guys that they believe are the best, you know, no matter the organization it is. So the best thing for me is, you know, to prove that I'm the best fighter in the world. I think that one of the best things for me would be a chance at Patricio Pitbull, because he is so highly touted in the world. I think he's ranked right behind Volkanovski on, you know, a lot of a lot of the world rankings, you know. For him to come down and be successful at 35, I mean, where would you put him in the world? You know, you got to put him in the top 3, you know?
Oh, of course.
You know, right there with Aljamain Sterling, Henry Cejudo, you know what I mean? If he comes down and he's successful, you have to put him right up there. So having a chance at Patricio Pitbull is just having a chance at the biggest name that I've ever been able to fight. So that's what I'm locked on. And if it's not him, it's going to be Pettis who will be successful against him. So, you know, either name, they're brother and they have lineage with their brothers. You know, obviously they both have brothers in the sport. So they both have such like notoriety behind their name. So like, you know, my last name, Patchy Mix, people are just learning what, you know, who Patchy Mix is after I need Rufián Stotts in the mouth for talking all that shit. Now, you know, I get a chance to match that up against one of their names, Pettis or Pip, you know what I mean, or Ferrer, you know, the names are just, they're legendary. So this is what I live for, man. You know, these opportunities, and I'm sitting in a glorious spot, let alone everyone's like, what are you doing with the money? I'm like, I'm just waiting. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the names. I want all those names. I want to collect them. You know, I remember Demetrius Johnson had like 13 belts and he had all these wins and shit. And he was just collecting them. You know, I want to collect them. You know, I'm already the best finisher in the division, the most submissions, most finishes. You know, I want to get the most knockouts now. I want to get the most. I want to run this up and I want to take out everybody. You know, I want to be pound for pound number 1. You know what I mean? I'm looking at, you know, these guys and I'm like, why can't I be there? I'm 1 round away from being 19-0, 30 fights straight. So that's what I'm trying to do. And, you know, what a glorious win, though, you know, to come off that, you know. I really don't like Rufián Stotts, and Rufián Stotts talks a lot of shit. And, you know, I just want to know, you know, I can't wait to see that interview to see how he feels, you know what I mean? Because I told him at the weigh-ins, you know, I said it to him right to his face, you know, I'm going to knock your ass out tomorrow. I told him, you got a little baby chin, I'm going to knock your ass out tomorrow. And he said, we'll see about that, you know. And all week we were saying, we'll see about that, you know. So we did see, you know. And he's working his ass off, I know. And he's going to come back, you know, we're going to see again. You know, I'm going to beat his ass again. And, you know, one of the best things if Pettis does win, though, I could tell you, is at least I didn't make them friends fight, you know.
Yeah.
He should be giving me a solid, you know, solid dap for that. Because, like, didn't make him fight his friend, which is cool. You know, I'm a good guy for doing that. And, you know, obviously we had the little, in that fight, you know, it was a little bit of, you know, the bad blood because he came to Extreme and we did our camps together, a couple camps previous to that, like when we were already in the tournament. So I kind of felt like he was stepping on my territory, you know what I mean? Like training with my people. I'm like, he didn't want to do a camp with Pettis because he was at Rufus Sport. And then he comes to Extreme Couture and does his camp with me, like, you know, on the same mats. And I'm like, you left because you didn't want to be around him who you had to fight in the tournament. And then 2 rounds later, you ended up fighting me. And granted enough, you didn't even fight him. So it's like, oh, man, that just makes it even more glorious that I need him. Oh, damn. And a grappler knocked you out, too. So, like, you gotta be hating it. Oh, man, I love it, though.
That's fucking great, bro.
It was an incredible knockout, Patchy. I mean, a lot of people picked you by submission. I didn't see anybody picking you by knockout.
Plus 1,900 for a knockout in the first round. I mean, plus 2,400 or something.
See, Patchy knows the odds. He's low key out there.
Patchy's a better.
Some sicko bet me with that, and I just can't understand why they would ever bet that. Like, someone bet that for like $100 or something back home, and they won $3,000 or something. They said,
wow.
And I was crazy. I was like, what the hell? What did you know that I didn't? You know. So.
Shit.
But no, man, it was good. It was good. You know, what a way to cap off the Hawaii trip too. You know, we love Hawaii, and to beat a guy that was undefeated in Hawaii. He had never lost there. He had been undefeated in Bellator, like 8-0, dominated, you know, besides the Sabatello fight, dominated everyone. Like, he really thought he had it all figured out. That's what I love about it, you know? And, like, I knew I could knock his ass out. I seen him get hit and hurt by less dudes, like in there when I'm watching the films, you know? I'm like, a lot of times when he needs to, like, win fights, he starts wrestling, like, he just starts shooting these double legs because he's such a good wrestler. No one shoots no double leg on me. You can't shoot no double leg on me if you're 180 pounds. I'll guillotine you. no matter who you are. If I grab your neck, you shoot it on me, no one takes me down with that. So I'm thinking, how is he going to get me to the ground? Like, I'm going to hurt him. I knew I'd hurt him. I knew it. I knew I'd hurt him because he gets hurt all the time, you know? I mean, Sabatello kicked him in his head. And I'm thinking, you know what I mean? I just was watching. I'm like, man, like, I'm a dog. Like, I know I could hurt him. So I knew he was going to be shooting for his life. I was gonna try to time it, you know, wait for him to shoot and then knee him. But, you know, I didn't even have to do that. But I knew I'd hurt him, you know, and I just, I don't know, man. He got that little man complex. So he had, like, been undefeated. He had all the momentum, you know. So, like, I was glad I was, like, didn't do so well in my Albert fight and the Gallagher fight because I kind of knew, like, my true potential going into the tournament. And then I feel like I did the tournament backwards, you know. Horiguchi was the hardest fight, I feel, in the tournament. It just so happened that I drew him first. And, like, I don't know if they wanted me to win. You know, they gave me Horiguchi off the bat. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I was fighting Horiguchi, and I think, like, someone was fighting, like, Leandro Higo. You know what I mean? I'm like, why the hell are they fighting? You know what I mean?
They gave you the toughest guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know who it was. Danny Sabatello was fighting, like, Leandro Higo.
Fought Higo.
I'm like, why is Danny Sabatello ranked number 6 or 7 fighting the guy that's ranked number 6 or 7? You know what I mean? It's like I'm number 2 fighting number 3. You know, that's how I felt going into it, and I was nervous. I was like, man, you know, they gave me a hard push right away, and the best thing would have been if I would have submitted Horiguchi. He was so damn small though, like I couldn't even get my body so long and big ass frame. I'm trying to get underneath his neck, and he's like curled up like a little ball the whole time. And I'm trying to So I think if I run that one back, I'll definitely submit that little dude. But 100%, you know, 100%.
You did great in that fight, Patchy. You were the underdog coming into the fight. You handled it really well. I mean, I learned a lot watching you against him.
Yeah, I know. I should have just put him away though. Body slammed him, bro. Fucking put him on his back, smashed past his guard. Just next time, bro, because all these fights will happen, bro. I'm so young and shit, like in this game. So like, and I'm gonna reign this title for a while. So they're gonna have to recycle all these guys through. You know what I mean? So. But, you know, down the line, I love that fight. He's a good dude, too, man. How can you not like Horiguchi? Dude, he's on a tear since I beat him. I think he's won a couple fights. I think he won.
Yeah, he's kicking ass in Japan.
2 or 3 fights, and then what did he do? Oh, he's going to fight Ray Borg. Fuck.
That fight canceled, yeah.
Ray Borg, man. Fuck. I talked to him out there, too. I was hoping that fight would go through. That would have been
a sick fight, too, man. He retired now, though, after that one. After he missed weight, he said he's done.
He'll probably come back. Who knows?
I hope he comes back.
It's an emotional decision to make right then and there, you know. I just don't think that, you know. It's like you got into an argument with your boss or something, you know what I mean? You're like, I quit, you know. Like, I used to work on a roofing crew. It's like, man, take the weekend off. Come back on Monday, you know.
Yeah.
You know, some of these guys, you know. I just think that Ray should have just waited a couple weeks and then made that decision. But if that's what he wants to do, all means to him. You know, I train with him. I got love for the guy, but he's got a lot of pullouts, you know what I mean, in his fight. So if it's hard to make that walk, though. I mean, not for me, but for other people. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, the anxiety that comes with fighting and shit, you know? Some people, you know, you know what I mean? It comes with a lot of anxiety. Could you imagine you've been talking shit on the internet for weeks, saying you're going to beat someone's ass, talking all this shit. You have to do all these interviews. You go through a media tour. You fly your whole family there. You fly there. You get there, you know what I mean? You just continuously talk shit. Everyone's around you. You're telling them you're going to, you know, whoop this dude's ass, and then you just go out there and get kneed right in the face and get knocked out. It's like, could you imagine, bro? I mean, that's an anxiety in itself. That's one of the most, I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know, man. That sounds like the worst nightmare ever. So I don't think a lot of guys like to do that, you know? So I don't know. Fighting's not for everyone, you know. I can tell you that, man.
I always say it's the hardest thing you can do. Patchy, that reminds me when you told me about how you felt walking out to fight James Gallagher. Do you remember what you said to me? You were like, man, it was so loud in there. You were talking about how crazy the atmosphere was.
Crazy, dude. Bro, I didn't even know what that was like, bro. That was crazy. That was like you're at a fucking carnival, a fair, everyone at the carnival, and everyone there is like, dude, that shit was nuts, bro. The James Gallagher fight, man, you know, and like, look at my fight with Stotts and look at the fight with Gallagher. I think that the fight with Gallagher was way harder than that one. And like, even though I don't like James, I'll give him his credit. Like, I need Stotts, and then James put a picture of him meeting me on the internet the next day. Like, the little fucking guy. You know, he's funny. He's funny as hell. I'll give him that shit, bro. But, you know, he's already lobbying for it. I mean, I wish he could just come back and get a couple wins. He's just such a little bitch, bro. He can't come back and get a couple wins, really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all he's got to do is get in the bracket, you know? Not necessarily like the tournament bracket, should I say. The bracket of the guys. There's winnable fights. You know, he could probably fight Stotts, jump the line, go run at him, try to knee him, get him in a guillotine. Who knows, you know? That's probably his best bet. If not, Stotts probably knocks him out the head kick or some shit. But, like, you know, Gallagher and me, man, I'm lobbying for that fight if he makes it back, you know. In Ireland, you know. Patchy Mix did not make weight that fight. You know, my only fight I've never made weight in my career, 1.8 pounds over, you know. I had a 1.8 pound advantage over that guy, you know what I mean? You know, I think, like, if he could just do his job, win a couple fights, get to the top, that'd be one of the best sellers in Ireland again. And, you know, I think he thinks I beat him because I had a 1.8, you know, 2 pounds on him. And
I think it was the Patchy Mix guillotine.
Yeah, you know, I think, like, you know, but just to say, you know, on fair grounds, you know, you make that weight. You know, hopefully it's at champ weight when we do it again. And I'd love to put him out, man. I try to throw a knee right off the bat on him in the first 10 seconds, and it like, just went by his neck. And then he shoots in, and then I guillotine him real quick. I almost got him with that one. But, yeah, man, he had it.
Well,
you know?
Patchy, the reason I bring that fight up is because it's crazy how far you've come. I mean, when you look back at that younger Patchy Mix who was nervous walking out to go fight James Gallagher, and then you go to this guy who just dominated for the belt in Hawaii. What have you learned? What experience have you gained? What lessons have you taken away from these last few big fights?
Yeah, just being prepared, man, you know. Dude, I got 30 fights, so, you know, we're all humans, so like life, man, you know. When I fought Gallagher, dude, I went there by myself. Like, I fought Gallagher because I needed to. My pride, man, like, my pride would not let me. I'm like, I had a date to fight this guy. I'm showing up to fight him no matter what. Like, that was my thought process. Like, we already were supposed to fight in May, and he was talking a shit ton of stuff anyways. He was at the fight when I fought Albert. You know, I was supposed to fight him that night, and then he pulled out. We got booked to fight in the 3 Arena, Dublin, Ireland, the main event. No matter what happened in my camp, no matter what, you know, like, I was going to be at that fight. So I went there with no coaches. I went there with nobody. I went there by myself. One of my buddies, like, I called my friend up. I was like, yo, I got to go fight this guy still. I got this unfinished business. He's like, bro, you know, he's telling me, I'm like, bro, it's 3 rounds, you know, a younger, naive me. I'm like, dude, I got 25 fights. It's 3 rounds. Who cares? You know, I'll go sleep this kid in the first round. You know, we get out there. They put us in quarantine for a fucking day. I'm there for, like, you know, I'm misjudging my days. I got there. I don't know the flights and shit, you know. I get there on whatever flights I'm given. I get there like 5-6 days out. I get quarantined for a day. I don't know what the time difference was. I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, damn, I got to make weight in like 72 something hours. You know what I mean? Right. And then I'm like, you know, I'm heavy at that time. You know, I'm heavy, bro. So it was like, it was hard to get out. And it was just preparation, man. You know, going into that fight, I was so unprepared. I mean, I wasn't with Tatiana 100%. You know what I mean? I was really just getting adjusted to Vegas. And, you know, that was just, you know, I just wanted to, you know, we had bad blood, so I showed up to it. So I think, like, the next fights, the Horiguchi fight, the Maga fight, and even my last fight with Rufan Stotts, you just see me, like, totally prepared, great camps, similar to, like, when I fought Ricky Bandejas. You know, I didn't walk out in Madison Square Garden in front of the same guy that knocked Gallagher out with that nerves. You know, I went out there with confidence. I went out there with, you know, that same look in my eyes, because, like, I know when I'm ready, and then I know when I'm not. You know what I mean? There's been some fights where, you know, Gallagher, just a little spout in my life. You know, I think the Juan fight, the Albert fight, and the Gallagher fight was like, that was all within a year of my life, a hard year, you know. You know, losing some people, going through some tough times, and you know, I think that was very hard for me as a fighter, and it shows just who I am as a person. You know, that we all are human. So, like, you know, if you look at my whole career, even before up until those fights, you know, I'm very dominant in my whole career. And then you look in that 1 year of my life, the Juan fight all the way to the Gallagher fight, you know, September to November that next year, I kind of struggled in those couple fights. And then they said $1 million. And, I think you have to fall to kind of really get back up and get your potential, because I'm glad I fell right before the tournament and went through those experiences that I needed, because when I got to the tournament, I was ready and no one was really paying attention, the way they needed to. Like, I was a dark horse, They were like, man, he can't even be Horiguchi. I notched him off. They put me as underdog against Maga, slept him. Then they even put me as underdog against that idiot, and then I slept him. So, you know what I mean? It was like perfect timing. And like you said, it shows the evolution as, I think, like mental growth, mental strength, and even like mental health, man. You know what I mean? Like when you're in a good spot in your life, when you're doing the right things, I think it shows in your job. And that's what it showed in that Rufian Stotts fight, If it wasn't going to be a minute knockout, it was going to be me dominating him the whole time, because I had a great weight cut. I had a great camp. I had been dominating everyone and knocking people out or hitting them with that knee in practice or submitting them. So I feel like no matter what, I would have got the job done. But what a way to do it, I remember sitting back and watching that AJ McKee fight when he fought Patricio and thinking, damn, he won $1 million. The confetti was flying down. He did it so crazy. He jumped on the cage and started throwing the money up. You know what I mean? He was like counting his money and shit, bro. I remember watching that back home thinking like, damn, bro. Then they did a tournament for me. And then just to fast forward all the way the day before Hawaii, and I'm just sitting on the balcony in Hawaii with Tatiana and my team. And I'm like, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out tomorrow. And to go there, do that, and, I remember walking back to that room with both the belts and this big ass check. Like, that was just amazing, man. So to come through, like,
dreams come true.
Yeah, from 1 year for the Gallagher fight to that, now I can't wait to see from this fight, to the Pitbull fight. It'll be even better.
The Pitbull fight. I like that you just said the Pitbull fight, man.
The Pitbull fight. He just
Dude,
said it.
listen, Patchy Mix, man. You're a dangerous
My
man.
bad, man. My bad.
No. He knows what he's saying. Listen, Patchy Mix, I've interviewed a lot of fighters, man. You have a very intense confidence to you that I can read that seems very authentic, which there's certain fighters, they can talk, but you out here and I can see it in your eyes. You believe it. Now you're a New York guy,
man,
too.
for sure. I'm from Buffalo, New York,
I see it.
man. The Bills Mafia, bro. Buffalo, New York, but I got the numbers to do it, I got the numbers to prove it. So it's easy to believe it. And, I'm just getting started, 29 years old. I got 30 fights. So I'm trying to run that number up to I don't know, a lot more. So let's go. Let's get it. I want to fight.
Patchy Mix, bro.
Coming into his prime, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Patchy Mix is just getting this party started, I feel.
Shit.
Yeah, and Tatiana's getting better too. She's gonna
hell yeah.
Oh, she's getting better too. So
dude, give me the Patchy Mix breakdown on Vanderova versus Suarez.
I think Tatiana will do well. She'll good stylistic matchup for her. Tatiana is one of the hardest workers in the gym. She works harder than me, man. Fuck, I work my ass off too. So Tatiana is she works harder than anyone that I know. I'm not just saying it because she's my girl. I mean, I see her, and I wouldn't just say it against myself, So not just that, she's laser focused, and she has a burning passion to want to be successful and to win that belt. I was driving home yesterday with her in the car, and she was just talking about how much she can't wait to fight and how much she loves it. And I was just thinking in my head, she has had such a rough road back, but she's always been the best. So for her, it's probably been hard to see all these other people be successful and know that you can be there. Or you know that you already are there, should I say, but if something has hindered you from performing, whether it's injuries or, it's for her, it's been injuries. So, or health scares or whatever it is for people, it's kept her out of the cage for 3.5 years, I think. She came back, had to get her feet wet. She won against De La Rosa, up a weight class, against someone that's tall, has long leverage, very good grappler in herself. This girl's shorter. This girl's smaller. And Tatiana's, she's a lot more physical at 115. And I think she's going to put her away. And it'll be a reminder, she's back in the top 5. She already has a win over the former champion at 15. She's finished her. She has a finish over the 125-pound champion right now. And I'm helping her with jiu-jitsu, trying to she's already so great at wrestling. She's so dominant at grappling. She, like the female Khabib, she already has so many leg laces, and we've seen it against the fence. You know what I mean? How she has been able to dominate people. So as you've seen last
Same as
fight,
Verna, right? Have you
Yeah.
been watching Verna's last couple fights? She seems to really have this systematic approach to grappling on the fence that these other women can't keep up with. Kind of an interesting stylistic matchup against Tatiana, right?
Yeah, Marina Rodriguez, though, that's who she was doing that against. And to see the success that Marina had, even if it was little, I'm a grappling expert, and I've seen a lot of great things, I mean, Marina was almost out many times, but she just didn't do the right things because she's never chain wrestled. She's not a chain wrestler, she's not the grappler of Tatiana. So
right,
just to see those things, I believe, and pound for pound, there ain't nobody messing with Tatiana. I watch it in the gym every day, so she goes with some of the best guys in the world, not just girls. She trains with the men. She grapples with us. Any 25-pounder I've seen men she can go with, and do very, very well with. I see her strangling a lot of flyweights out, like just myself. So I think she'll do well. And if I could add any flavor to it, just like be a great training partner for her. And because obviously I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, one of the best jiu-jitsu finishers in MMA. So she already has her style, and she's so dominant. And, just maybe help her with some chokes and stuff, because she's, obviously she submitted Alexa Grasso with a rear naked choke. That's where I specialize in. Just trying to help her with those things. That's the only thing I really have influence on. Besides that, let's try to be a better half to her, a good support system outside of like fighting, and let her do her thing, you can't really get Tatiana to stop working. So like, I'm hurting, my neck's hurting right now. I'm at home. She went and trained for like 2 hours right now. So, you know what I mean? Whether she's like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but whether she's like put together, broken, whatever, she's dragging her ass to the gym to train. So
she's on the mat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're smart for taking the time, man. AJ, these guys got to protect themselves. Patchy's smart. He's a millionaire. No reason to get your neck twisted today.
Listen, we got some love in the chat that I got to throw to Patchy.
What'd you say?
We got some love from the chat I want to throw at you, man. A lot of positive, but I want to bring this one up. It says, Patchy Mix, respect to you, man, and thank you for cashing me those dog tickets. So shout out to our guy, Bob.
Anytime, bro. Next time, I think I'll be a dog, if the numbers are right, I'll be a dog again against Pitbull probably. So, I'm hoping he wins. So, Tatiana just got back from training, her ears must have been ringing because she heard me talking about it.
Yeah. Listen, Patchy,
we'll let you go.
We don't want to hold you up.
Thank you, bro.
We just want to say thank you,
guys, man.
No, we appreciate you a ton, bro. You're one of the best in the world. And I'm appreciative too of just getting to know you a little bit, because it's interesting, right?
I like the show, man. Where are you from, bro? Where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts originally, but I live in Florida now, bro. I'm in the warm weather.
Bro, I can tell.
You can see.
You can hear the accent, right?
I can hear the accent, man. I can hear the accent. I didn't know where you're from, though.
Yeah, bro.
All right,
I'm
man.
an Italian Massachusetts guy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can tell you. All right, man. I'll see you, bro. Thank you, guys.
Peace out,
Thank you
Patchy
to the
Mix.
millionaire, the man who strangles the competition. He knocks them the fuck out. He don't play around with the judges no more. You might be unconscious from a choke. You might be unconscious from a kneecap. Ladies and gentlemen, the most exciting fighter in Bellator, Patchy motherfucking Mix. Thank you for the time, champ.
Thank you, bro.
Patchy Mix, ladies and
My
gents.
man. I'll see you.
See you. That was a legendary interview. Mike Finch, Patchy Mix came through and he brought the absolute fire to us, man.
Of course,
that was great.
Did.
That was an awesome interview. Patchy Mix is a bad man.
He keeps
Bad
it real.
man.
Patchy is so honest. And half of the comments are, ask Patchy when he's going to the UFC, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that to him because he said early on in the interview, he's like, I want to stick with Bellator. I love Bellator. Bellator is how I know Patchy. So the reason we just had him on is because Patchy and I are friends from working together at Bellator. And so I sort of owe it to Bellator to not shit on Bellator, so it's just like, I wasn't going to do that to him, but I see your comments and Patchy has heard that before.
Yes. Listen, Patchy Mix is doing his thing. The Pitbull fight on the horizon. He makes me want to watch more Bellator. At least when his name is on the slate, I'll have to be tuning in for the Patchy Mix show because he's a bad man. He's fucking confident, man. I can feel the confidence, man. It's a very interesting feel. It almost reminds me of like mini Mike Tyson. Obviously, very different styles, but like that type of aura around him of he knows he's a bad motherfucker.
Dude, he is such a finisher, man. He is gonna. When he was matched up with Horiguchi, I was thinking, man, probably Horiguchi, right? Ever since that victory over Horiguchi, I've just stopped doubting him, and he just continually proves that he is at another level every single time he fights. All right, I saw this ignorant ass comment that we should destroy. Tanner Ray, who's usually pretty intelligent. It's kind of up now. He said number 1 in Bellator. Okay. And then he's talking about Patchy Mix.
Oh, shit.
And then he says number 15 in the UFC. You cannot get away with saying some goofy ass shit like that on this show. So let's run through it, folks. Okay. We're going to look at number 15 in the UFC is Jonathan Martinez, 14, Chris Gutierrez, 13, Adrian.
Just ask me who I'm picking, and I'll tell you honestly.
I mean, come on, folks. Come on, folks. None of these guys are holding a candle to Patchy.
Give me the top 5. Let's see.
The top 5 is nice. Obviously, you got the champ is Aljo, and then top 5: Marab,
it's a fight.
Sugar Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo, Corey Sandhagen, Piotr Jan. Those are all good fights.
Those are good
but
fights.
Patchy's at that level.
He's live in all those fights.
Yes.
I'd be very interested, man. But unfortunately, we're probably not going to see it. For me, getting to see him versus Pitbull, that's his legacy fight that will carry weight for years and years, man, if that ends up actually happening. What's interesting, and I didn't bring it up to him. I wanted to, but I was like, yeah, let's not get into all that. But I wanted to talk about the potential, I don't want to call it merger, buyout, Bellator, PFL, lining up maybe. It's so like, how would that be, right? Like, I don't even know, man. Shout out to Tanner Ray, man. We brought the fire to him and he threw us the $4.99. Good man. Good man.
All right, it's love.
Yeah, we love him. We love him. Yeah, he said you got me, bro. Just hating. That's funny, bro. Jack Klinkler, Mike Finch is gonna come at you with this one. But I would say I'll answer this question. The reason we know Patchy's at the level is, I mean, the way he's destroying pretty high level guys. I mean, if you look, recent win for him is Magomedov. He had 2 fights with Piotr Jan, winning one of them. Kyoji Horiguchi was a UFC top contender. And Stotts, absolute savage. The UFC was watching him fight against Marab. Marab ended up knocking him out, but they were there to watch him, and he's been running through everybody in Bellator. So I would say Patchy's pretty high level, man.
100%. Those 3 wins.
Pretty is an understatement. I would say extremely. Like him and Aljamain Sterling is a pick'ems.
Yeah. And you heard him saying, hey, I roll with all these guys. I know what level they're at. Like Patchy's trained with Marab. Patchy's trained with a lot of these high level guys. I guarantee you they're having a lot of trouble with Patchy on the mat. You know, Patchy, as far as I'm concerned, has the best guillotine in the sport. And yeah, he's young and he's a millionaire now and he's on the rise. He's getting a house in Vegas. He just broke that on the show. That was cool.
That was sick.
Dude, these types of investments are important, you know. Stick in Vegas. He's got a good camp. He's got a lot of savages to train with there. And I feel like the sky's the limit for him, man. He is absolutely at that level. And I could see that just from watching Cage Side, too. You know, I got to sort of watch him go throughout that whole tournament. And the dude is extremely high level. Extremely high level. You could ask any UFC fighter he trains with. I'm sure they'll echo that to you as well.
It was interesting how confident he was on his boy Albazi, too. And you listen, for the people watching, if you didn't watch the early predictions, I dropped them on the channel. Next week, we'll be breaking it down, Mike Finch and I, and we'll give our full card picks and go back and forth and whatnot. That's a crazy fight, too, Kai Kara-France and Albazi, because, I mean, you could argue for Albazi. He wins that fight. He's right in the title picture, beating Kai, who gave hell to Moreno.
Well, yeah, and Kai's got the name, you know, so even though Kai's got some losses on his record, Kai Kara-France, everybody's familiar with. They've seen the big knockouts. So, yeah, you get that win over Kai, and it's a big deal. Kai's problem, obviously, is when fights hit the mat.
Right. That will be interesting with Albazi, who's a specialist there. But Kai's takedown defense was looking pretty good last time out with Moreno, too. So I love that fight. I think that's going to be a dope UFC fight night. And then looking ahead, I mean, O'Malley versus Sterling. That's a fucking savage matchup. And I want to ask you, Mike Finch. So the BMF belt is back. It's Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. Are you a fan of the BMF belt or are you not a fan? Because I hear a lot of hate towards it.
Fuck it. I'm a fan. Fuck it. Why not? Yeah, when Dana said, well, because Jorge Masvidal retired, we're going to bring it back. Why not? Like, let's have some fun, dude. I feel like the UFC needs to sort of brighten things up. I remember back when every year it seemed like the UFC was outdoing itself. It'd be, every single year they'd get to that July event where they do a super fight and they did, GSP fights and Brock Lesnar fights. And these events just kept getting bigger. And you just kept thinking, God, the UFC is going to be twice as big next year. I feel like we've gotten away from that a little bit now. This July card, this International Fight Week card, is not bringing the same heat that UFC 100 and even 200 and some of these other fights were. So
but I guess 300 will. 300 will.
I mean, I'm excited to see that it will. My point more so is like this: every time they do International Fight Week, they have these super fights, these huge fights. This year, they just tried to stack the card because there are no super fights to make. Who were the super, stars in the sport? Ronda Rousey, she's gone. Conor McGregor, broken and not near the title right now. John Jones, one more fight, he's saying, maybe. Brock Lesnar, gone. Who are the superstars in MMA? It's a little, it needs some spice. It needs some sparkle. And that's what the BMF belt's about. It's about some pizzazz, some paparazzi, something fun. So that's why I'm with it.
Mark Begley, my guy, thank you for the 20, brother. We appreciate you a ton, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, me and Mike Finch's picks last week were high level. He was 9-3, number 2. I came in first with 10-2, number 1. And I'm not shitting on my guy Mike by saying that. I'm actually hyping up both of us.
9-3, come on.
Bro, 9-3 is insane.
I swept the main card. That was sick.
That was sick, Mike. So shout out to you, bro. Those were some savage picks. We both brought the fire. The fucking dogs kicked our ass with the locks, though, because the dog lock is a risky fucking territory. And unfortunately, we ate shit. But we're coming back with fire for the next card. We're going to cover the hell out of it and get some money locks, bro.
Let's talk about it. You want to talk about the last card a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about what happened, man. Let's do the full, main fight recap. Let's go main event first. Dern versus Hill. Listen, one-sided. Mackenzie Dern looked nasty on the feet. I was glad to see her letting her hands fly, and she was hurting Angela Hill. The knee, too. I already knew the ground skills were there, but the fact that she was hurting Angela on the feet, I was like, all right, Mackenzie Dern, she's coming along now. She's a savage.
Mackenzie Dern is an attacker, bro. She was just like on offense in that fight. She's hittable. It didn't seem like Angela Hill was able to pull the trigger with quite the right timing. You saw Angela sort of get a little overwhelmed on the feet at moments, dropped once, if I'm not mistaken. She got kneed in the face or kicked in the face. So yeah, there were some serious moments on the feet from Mackenzie Dern, which not a lot of us predicted, right? So Mackenzie Dern getting dangerous on the feet, looking muscular. AJ, how jacked is Mackenzie Dern now, bro? Good. Mackenzie Dern's getting divorced. She's like, fuck this. I'm hitting the weights. She went in. So good for her. And, she's always been great on the ground. To be honest, I thought maybe there were a couple moments where she could have finished that fight. But as far as, an overall assessment, I think Mackenzie Dern was more dangerous on the feet than people give her credit for. It's just that at the highest levels, it seems that she's counterable. If I was training a woman, maybe a striker, to fight her, you sort of want to just make her miss one of those huge shots she throws her whole body into and then counter her. Mackenzie Dern, a little wild.
It's hard to hurt, though, for the fact that the women's division's like, who's the big power puncher? I mean, Yan Xiaonan's got the power, but like Angela Hill is a precise striker, but she doesn't have the sting to keep Dern off of her. Dern can really go after these girls and unload everything. I mean, a name that would come to mind that would make her pay is a Jessica Andrade. But Andrade, we saw her just get laid out by Yan Xiaonan. She don't look like she wants to be there anymore.
Yeah, good point. Amanda Lemos is interesting. Rose Namajunas is interesting.
Yeah, I like the Rose fight. But, there is rumblings even from Tatiana of Rose going up to 25, which is, that's a move, man. That's a scary move. 25 is a hard weight class I feel like for Rose. I'd rather her stay, 115, try to get another win and maybe get a title shot.
Yeah. Rose versus Dern would be fun. That would be a fun one.
I like that fight.
Tatiana
on that.
Suarez, kind of a bad matchup for Rose. So I would see Rose not loving that fight. But Dern without the ability to take her down, that'd be interesting, right? And Dern, by the way, just competed at ADCC, big tournament. I believe it was ADCC trials, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously investing time in her grappling. And she's going to need it to compete with the women we just talked about.
Yeah, agreed. She's going to need that A1 fucking ground skill for these savages. Dude, I'm disappointed we got an off week, man. I wish there was fights this Saturday for the UFC. There is the road to the UFC fights, but they're on at like 6 a.m. my time, 3 a.m. your time. So I don't know. We might have to catch the replay of those, man.
Did you block Rafael Stotts in the chat?
It's not the real Stotts, bro.
Former interim Bellator bantamweight.
It's a fake Stotts. I already checked because I thought it was really him. So I clicked on the page and the guy's name is Tracy Cortez Foot Bathwater. I'm like, yeah, that ain't the real him, brother. unless he got some weird shit going on. That's not.
I saw him chiming in when we were talking to Patchy, and I'm like, do I bring this up? Is this?
It would have been dope if it really was him. But
I mean, he's been on our show, right?
Yeah, I thought it was him, but nah, it's a fake profile. And then at the end, he just dropped some profanity, so I knew it wasn't him. That's why I booted him out.
Peace out, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Mackenzie Dern. I'm a fan. Whenever I hear them say fighting out of Huntington Beach, California, me and my wife are like, woo, you know.
Yeah. You have to. Come on. Those are your people. You're a Huntington Beach guy, Mike. You're looking more like Tito Ortiz by the day, actually.
I'm gonna go train with them, bro. I want to go train with Team Ruka over there, Jason Perillo and them.
Yeah,
trying to get back in shape. I'm healing some little injuries, feeling better, and I want to go over there like soon.
Yeah, you should, bro. Go fucking right up there and show them what Mike Finch is about, bro. They'll get you in with Rockhold. You know what I'm saying? He can teach you something.
I'm a little small for Rockhold. Rockhold's 6'3". When I'm standing next to Luke, I'm like, God damn. Yeah, they would have put me in as Mike Perry, and I would have been on the wrong side of some left hands.
That's funny, man. That's funny. Oh, shit. Bro, listen. A lot of fun talking to Patchy. A lot of fun talking to Tatiana. It was cool to, talk to some savages this week on an off week. I think it was a great show. It's what we needed. We were talking about BKFC, and I want to finish out one last touch on Houston Alexander. But holy shit, at 51, that's badass. Going 5 rounds, going to war at home. I think you got to give him a title shot just for the chance, to become the oldest champion ever in combat sport.
I mean, you guys remember Houston Alexander losing to Kimbo Slice a decade ago. For this guy to be fighting at a high level in 2023, pretty crazy, right? So, good for him. Undefeated in bare knuckle fighting championships, and at 51 years old, the most badass dude in his 50s in the game. So, him getting a shot at the belt, I would not be opposed to at all. Good for Houston, man. Exciting fight, too. Every BKFC card is exciting, so it gets redundant to say exciting fight. It's pretty much designed for excitement. Did you see the Conor McGregor interview with Ariel Helwani recently where Conor was saying, I would do that. I would absolutely do that, and he was talking about
I just watched it, actually.
You missed it. Okay.
I feel like I just watched it with you saying. I feel like I just heard Conor.
Conor was saying he'll fight bare knuckle, and he makes a good point. It's designed so that there can't be boring fights. There's just nothing boring about it. So, if you want to be entertained, BKFC is where it's at, and we're lucky to host BK Bets and be working for them. But all bias removed. I mean, we're giving them some spotlight because we're a part of the team at this point. But I'm being honest when I say it's the most exciting thing you could watch right now in combat sports.
Yes. This guaranteed. You got bangers every single time. That card, bottom all the way up, was fire. And we had some fire picks too. Our percentages in bare knuckle are crazy, bro.
Are crazy. Are you guys missing our bare knuckle picks? You're fucking up.
Dude, the only losses tend to be fucking dogs a lot of the times. It's like bare knuckles reminded me of boxing. A lot of times the favorites get it done. You find minus 200, get a minus 240, parlay it up. Like in MMA, that's not always optimal, right? But dude, in bare knuckle, that's been fucking big W City. Actually, we got to shout out Ali Point VTV. Michael Johnson left me frozen like Elsa. I felt bad for Michael Johnson. That overhand was so brutal. I was loving it. I'm like, all right, Michael Johnson's looking good. He's on point. He's touching Diego. It was competitive, but he's looking smooth. And then flatline. I just sat here and I was just like, no, please. Are you fucking kidding me? But that's the fight game. That's the fight game.
Boom, hit him with that overhand right.
That overhand.
And that's something that I did not see coming because Johnson seems to have so much more pop on his shots, you know, but man, was able to dig deep and get him out of there. Yeah. What a big win and puts him right back in the mix. And for Michael Johnson, I mean, pretty much the opposite. Like after seeing Michael Johnson get like stiffened like that, it's going to be really hard to place a bet on Michael Johnson heading forward. He's getting older now. He's the type of guy who, let's be honest, when he spars, it's like a fight in the gym. Yeah. So he's had hundreds of gym fights plus the MMA fights. You know, we might be seeing the miles sort of get a little too high on the vehicle for Michael Johnson. Sad. Wouldn't be a bad time for the Menace to consider moving on.
I hope he does. I want to see him get a signature knockout before he calls it. That's what I'm hoping for.
I mean, he could beat anybody. It's the joke in MMA, but I'll echo it. You know, it's like he can beat, you know, some people at the highest level one day and lose to somebody at the lower end of the division the next.
Yeah, fucking fight game. Crazy ass fight game. We got a week off from it, but it's good. We'll regroup. We'll get back to it. And then next week, Moneyline, as usual, we'll break down the entire card. But yeah, I do got my early picks up. So if you guys are wondering, where the early picks, they're on the channel. I dropped them. I didn't want to take any time off from doing picks. I'm obsessed, bro.
I mean, it's your brand. AJ brings the fucking. For me, I don't know what I do. I interview people. I like. I love the sport. I don't know. I'll bring my friends who are fighters on, and we could talk to them a little bit. But you know, for AJ's the picks guy. You got to go to him for all the fucking picks. You know, I talked to BKFC. They're gonna have me back for when they have big cards, so big pay-per-views and stuff. So I'm gonna try to bring you guys just a bunch of backstage content. So hopefully they'll let me post some. By the way, I've got some extra stuff to post from that last BKFC that they haven't put up. So we might as well get it on the internet. Yeah, go to AJ for the picks, and I'll see you guys next Monday, and we'll talk then.
People, we appreciate you. Donos, we appreciate that. Continued support, comments.
That. Thank you.
Much love. Mike, great chatting it up with you. People, run the likes up. If you're new, subscribe. We're closing in on 16,400 subs. So keep it locked in. Big things on the way. You don't want to miss it. 1 week off, but it's good for us. I'll be live all week. I'm doing live streams every night. So tune into the lives. I'll Q&A it up. I'll rip some fucking bong skis. It's going to be a beautiful show every day of the week. The fire's coming. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, AJ. Keep it locked in at MMA Experts. If you guys want to keep up with me, my channel is in the description. Every single off week, we're going to bring the heat with the interviews. So today it was Patchy Mix and Tatiana Suarez. We hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you freaks Monday.
Peace, everyone, and see you in the next one.